Welcome to today's class entitled Funky Flow. I've been working on some new flows and transitions over the past couple weeks, and I want to debut them over the next few videos. I hope you like them. Please feel free to give me feedback. I love hearing what you guys have to say. And also joining us in class today is my dog Rex. He often likes to come onto my mat and practice with me, so I thought we would just include him today. Let's start by coming onto our sitting bones. Those bony parts in our tail in an easy seated position. Feel the spine grow long over the hips. Inhale the shoulders up towards the ears, and then exhale, bring them down. Hands can stay settled on the knees, or maybe we bring a hand to our belly and to heart center. And let's just take a few moments connecting with our breath. Maybe we close our eyes. Beginning to walk our hands out in front of us as we hinge forward from our hips. Chest comes down towards the legs, gently opening the hips. Walk the fingertips over to the right, staying grounded through the left. Fingertips walk center, and then over to the left-hand side, grounding strong through the right. Coming center, realign the torso over the hips, and let your non-dominant leg, the one behind us, come in front. And walk our fingertips forward one more time. Walk over to the left, opening up the right side body. And then coming center and over to the right. Drawing awareness to the left side body. Walking center, take the torso over the hips, and let's come into our quadruped position. Knees are underneath hips, and let's just take a few moments. We're going to kind of push our hips back around towards our heels as we roll into this circular motion over the hips and shoulders. And then in the opposite direction. Last one. Let's turn our fingers to look at our knees as we plant the palms. If we feel enough pressure to the forearms, stay here, or begin to gently allow the hips to come back towards the heels on our exhale. Inhale and come forward. Exhale back. And just work those forearms as we spend a lot of times on our wrists in yoga. And as always, I invite you to come to the mat as you are today. And I know we often think that's some hippy dippy stuff that yoga instructors say, but it's really true. Today's flow is going to take us through some things that I've never even taught before. So maybe you take some of it, maybe you don't. So come as you are and accept who you are today. One more. Flip the fingertips back around, and let's flow through some cat-cows. Exhale, round the spine towards the ceiling. Inhale, drop the belly, heart pulls open between the arms. As we round into cat, shoulder blades roll away from one another. Inhale, belly chucks. exhale, round. Inhale, drop. One more, exhale, round. And as we find neutral, either come into child's pose or sit back on your heels, whichever is most comfortable. Interlace the fingers behind the back, and you can do that from either position. Clasp the hands and the palms together as we spread open the chest. Inhale. Exhale, begin to peel the arms away from the back in either position. And then inhale, release. Exhale, open. Inhale, release. Exhale, open. Inhale, release. Last one. Exhale, open. And release. Hands come back in line with our shoulders. Peel the elbows towards one another. Curl the toes. Find downward facing dog. And just allow yourself to move for a few breaths in whatever way feels good for you. Pedaling feet, lifting legs, shifting from side to side. Let's let both heels lengthen towards the mat. The goal is not for them to touch, so it doesn't matter if they do or they don't. Left leg lifts, keeping the hips and toes square. We draw knee towards nose as we plant the left foot in between our hands. Feel the hips stay even as the torso rises. Engage the glutes as our arms lift. Exhale, hands come down, frame the left foot, step into forward fold. Nice big inhale, exhale, sink into chair. Tailbone looks down, torso lifts. Arms are as close to the ears as we can get them. Exhale, fold. Right leg is in front, left leg steps behind us. Find your lunge. That rib cage is going to stay nestled down as we squeeze our glutes and then extend the arms. Hands come down, step forward into our forward fold. Take an inhale here, and then as we exhale, we sink and open to chair. And on our next exhale, fold, forward fold. Plant the hands, step back into plank pose. Feel the weight distribute over every finger, especially the pointer. Feel the glutes engage, and we're pressing away the mat. We're pressing the mat away with our hands, but we don't really want to be super high, but we do want to be very engaged through those shoulder blades. Peel back, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts behind us. Find its place in between our hands. Before we rise, spread the toes, lift them, spread them, place them back down. Feel the arch lift. Feel stability in that front leg as we lift. We're going to spend a lot of time in this split squat position today, challenging our balance. Hands come down, frame the right leg, come all the way in, forward fold. Heel toe the feet out once or twice, and then exhale, begin to sink into a yogi squat. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale, drop. Exhale, lengthen. Take the feet back underneath the hip. Left leg is in front, right leg steps behind us. Feel the connection of that front foot. Back foot, you can be on your toes or you can lengthen, whatever feels best for you. Hands come down. Find yourself back into forward fold. Heel toe yourself out once or twice, or keep the feet under the hips if you have that range of motion. Keeping the heels on the ground. Inhale, drop into your yogi squat, stopping at your range of motion. Exhale, lengthen. So maybe that's only partial, maybe that's 90. Maybe it's here. Slowly release on the inhale. And exhale. Take the feet back underneath the hips if they were out. Plant the hands, plank pose. Adding on a chaturanga, let's drop the knees to begin. Tops of the feet, we're strong. Exhale, elbows hug. Even if we're only coming down an inch and we're keeping those shoulders open, press all the way back up. Find downward facing dog. Left leg lifts behind us. Comes in between our hands. Feel the stability through the front foot. Arms come up, focal point. Engaging into Shiva squat. So shift forward through that front shin, that left shin. Right toes are gonna drag slow. We're gonna connect that right front knee to the back of the left knee. Draw the heel towards the glute. As we drop the right leg, sink into chair. Exhale, fold. Right leg is in front, left leg steps behind us. Find your lunge. Shiva squat, left toes drag, slow, controlled connection of the knees. Dropping the left foot as we sink into chair. Exhale, fold. Plank position. Dropping our knees if we need to, or staying extended, lower down, chaturanga, 1 unit. Finding cobra as our back bend. Bring our big toes together, press the tops of the feet to the ground as we lift the chest. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts behind us, comes in between our hands. Find lunge into your Shiva squat. Right leg is going to thread behind the left leg off the mat, and then either hands to hips or extend the arms as we open through the hip. Control the right leg back as it swoops around into chair. Exhale, fold. Right leg is in front, left leg steps behind us. Find that lunge. Positive shin. So draw forward. Positive shin angle. Draw in, left leg comes in. Engage through the heel. Kick left leg behind. Hands to hips for more stability, or open up, use the wingspan. Left leg comes all the way as it circles around, lands onto the mat, into chair. Exhale, fold. Heel toe yourself out once or twice. Sink into a yogi squat, heels connected, knees go out. Remember, maybe this is it, maybe this is it. The moment those heels start to lift or those toes start to splay out to the side, that's our stopping point. Let's take a moment, move side to side here, distribute the weight. Extend the legs, heel toe in if you were out. Step back into plank. Coming into side plank, left hand is down. Can always take the knee down and even kickstand it out, or if you feel comfortable, extend that bottom leg. And then switch to the other side. Right hand comes down. We stay lifted and connected through the hips, regardless if our knee is up or down. Doesn't matter where we're coming from. Drop back down to plank and find your way to down dog, however you want to get there. So maybe that's a chaturanga and a back bend, or maybe that's right to down dog, or maybe you want to take a child's pose for a couple breaths. Peel back, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts behind us. Finds its way in between our hands. Feel the lift. Squeeze the glutes. Into our Shiva squat. Draw forward. Draw the left toes in. Connect the knees. Adding on. Thread through. Control. Left hand looking at the front of the mat. All the way down, feel the connection, screw the wrist into the ground, and then lift the hips for a moment, expand the arm. Take top arm, that right arm to your hip, left hand comes to the hip as we lift, circle the left leg around, find your chair, sorry. Exhale, fold. Left leg is in front, right leg steps behind us, finding lunge. Draw the back leg in, Shiva squat. Thread the right leg through the body. Open the wingspan as we gently bring the hand back to the ground. Lift the hips. Rotate the head if you'd like to look at the hand. Bring the hands to the hip as we take the torso back up. Swoop the right leg around. Find your chair. Exhale, fold. Step back into our plank. Left hand is down, side plank. Opening up to wild thing from side plank. So this top leg will just come up and around and over. Wild thing sometimes is a lot more accessible from plank than from down dog. So when we progress to coming into it from down dog, remember you can always come in from plank. Come in, shift right hand down. As we rotate over, that left leg comes up. We take those toes behind us and we open up into wild thing. Come all the way back down. Travel to down dog however you need to get there. If you'd like up dog now, please feel free to take it. Flipping the tops of the feet, pulling the hips towards the hands. Child's pose on our exhale. Coming up onto our knees, let's take the backs of our hands to the ground and open up. Extend the arms, downward facing dog. Right leg comes behind us. Comes in between our hands, find that lunge. Draw the back foot in, Shiva squat. Left leg threads behind the right. Left fingertips come down. Open and extend. Close the right hand back towards the ground as we take this right leg up and around and peel the left knee in and extend back. Three-legged dog. Left foot comes in between our hands. Find your lunge. Shiva squat. Right leg threads behind the body. Hands come down. Fingertips look to the front of the mat. Open up. So remember, we're going to take this top left leg around to the back as the left hand drops. Pull the right knee in and it extends back to three-legged dog. Well done. Drop the foot into down dog. Left leg lifts. Find your lunge. Time to add on a wild thing. Shiva squat. Thread the right leg behind the body. Hand comes down. As we close, top leg comes around. Right knee pulls in. If you can keep this left hand off the ground and fight as you turn down, feel free, and then place it down when you need to. Kick back, three-legged dog, and then let that right leg come up and over to wild thing. And what I want you to try to do today, if you can, is not touch those right toes to the ground. Or if you do, very lightly. Remember, you can come into plank as well. Come all the way in, round back to three-legged dog, and then shoot that right foot between our hands. Find our lunge. Well done. Opposite side. Shiva squat. Draw forward through the shin. Positive shin angle. Knees connect. Heels lift. We're engaged. Left leg comes behind the body. Left hand comes down. Lift the hips. Stack the shoulders. Take a second. And then this top right leg comes out and back as that left knee pulls in. Use your core. Kicks back to three-legged dog. And then we open to wild thing. Screw the hand into the ground. Slow and controlled. And then see if you can take those toes off the ground as the hips extend. Slowly come back and drop that left leg. Down dog. Bend the knees, look to the space in between our hands. Walk it, forward fold. Heel toe yourself out once or twice if you need to for that Malasana or our yogi squat. Begin to drop. And we're gonna hold here a few breaths. Slowly take the hips up slightly. Heel toe yourself in, step or jump to plank. Lower all the way down. Left arm comes parallel to the front of the mat. Fingers are spread wide. Excuse me, your right arm. Left arm comes in line with your chest as we gently roll open. You can take that left fist and bring it to the head. Maybe the left leg doesn't make it all the way over the right. Just bring it where you can. If it's comfortable, come up onto the fingers of that right arm. And then slowly come center. Take the left arm parallel, right arm in line with the chest. And then slowly, because remember one side is always nicer than the other, we open. Use that right fist to keep your head in line with the spine. If you'd like to enhance, come up onto the fingertips. Come center. Press back into child's pose. So this is where we're going to start to get a little funky. So we're going to go from wild thing into Malasana. So we're going to be kind of turned around on our mat. If you're facing the same direction as I am, then you will just go along with me. If you're vertical to your screen, your back may be to me, so just kind of keep that in mind. So let's find it, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. Draws in between our hands, find our lunge. Shiva squat, pull in. Finding that mastery of our postures, compensation, thread through. Fingertips come down on that right hand side, looking at the mat. Lift the hips, open. Now as we come down slightly through that left hand, left leg comes up and around as that right knee comes in. We use the strength in our core. Plant that left hand, kick back into wild thing, rotate, slow, slow, slow. Screw the hand into the ground. If we can, fight the toes off the ground. Now plant the foot. You're gonna be off your mat, that's okay. Come into a tabletop position. So bend both legs, yeah? And then top arm is gonna swoop around as we press ourselves into Malasana. Now, you're off your mat a little bit, that's okay. I'm gonna bring you on. Okay, so lift your hips slightly. Here's the transition back. Left fingertips come up, come to the mat. Right fingertips come up. Right leg lifts, and then we're gonna hop onto that right leg as that left leg extends behind us. Find your lunge. Shiva squat. Feel the engagement. Kick behind, left hand comes down. Top right leg comes up and over the bottom left as that left knee pulls in, and we find three-legged dog into our wild thing. Control. Keep the toes off the ground if you can. I do way better on one side than the other. Then drop the foot. Peel in to that tabletop position. Top arm swoops around as we come into Malasana. You may have found you swooped way better on one side than the other. Lift the hips. Right hand, left leg, jump, extend, downward facing dog. Well done. Let's go one more time, now that you know what we're doing. Left leg lifts. Find your lunge. Shiva squat, slow. Right leg threads behind, right finger come down. Remember, we're looking at that front of the mat. Lift the hips. Top left leg comes around as that right knee pulls into our chest. Three-legged dog, right into our wild thing. Remember, you can shift forward to plank if you need to. Feel control. Extend the hips. Extend the arm. Float the foot. Drop. Pull into that tabletop. Yes. Top arm swoops around as we push into Malasana. Right fingertips lift. Hips lift. Left fingertips, right fingertips, right leg, hop, back to your lunge. Shiva squat. Thread behind, plant the hand, lift the hips, top leg, right leg, swoops back, left knee pulls and use the core, all the way over into our wild thing, slow and controlled. So try not to drop your wild thing, control it. Plant the foot, drag the other foot in, find that tabletop position, top arm comes around, Malasana, lift the hips, right fingertips, left leg, hop, and then drop into forward fold. Well done. Right leg is in front. Left leg steps behind us. Find your lunge. Draw the back knee in. Shiva squat. Thread the leg through that left leg. Transition. Left hand comes down, but then we're going to slowly lower that left leg down. Connect. Knee to knee. Half cow face pose. Walk yourself down if you can. Open the hips. Slowly walk yourself up. Top leg unwinds itself. Left hand comes to the front of the mat. Right hand follows. As we come up, we're going to lift the hips, pivot on that back foot, and pull the knee back in. Inhale forward to plank. Lower down. Full connection. Hands come back so that our fingers look to our toes. Squeeze the heels together, squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze the thighs. Begin to lift the legs as the torso lifts into locust pose. Breathe into the belly. Slowly release. Elbows pull in. Come onto our knees, downward facing dog. Left leg comes behind us. Draws in between our hands, lunge pose. Shiva squat. Right leg threads behind as the hand comes down. Slowly lower that right leg to the ground. Connect. Left knee on top of the right. Hinge forward. I just moved so that you could see me and my back wasn't to you. Slowly begin to unwind the top leg. Right hand comes down, left hand comes down. As the hips lift, we pivot on that back left leg. Draw that right knee in. Find downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank. Lower down, chaturanga. One unit all the way to the ground. Interlace our hands behind our back. Pull them down and away. Big toes squeeze, thighs squeeze, glutes squeeze as we lift and take the palms off the back. Slowly release, round back into child's pose. Left arm comes out to the side like an airplane wing. Threads underneath the body, palm flips towards the ceiling. Pull the left ear away from the shoulder. And then let the right stay here, or let the right arm come in front of the left. Rest the chin on the bicep, tricep region. Peel the shoulders away from the ears into knot pose. Slowly release. This time the right arm comes out first. It threads underneath. Shoulder pulls down. Remembering we can stay right here and thread the needle, or take full knot. Left arm crosses in front of the right. Actively pull the shoulders down. Feel the breath into the shoulder blades. Slowly release. Come around to a seated position, legs out in front of us. We're gonna open up into cow face pose, and it's a very difficult hip opener. So a block can come in handy for those of you who just don't love cow face. Right leg extends, left knee comes on top. So you can stay in half cow face pose with the hinge forward, which we did before. If you'd like to come into full, this bottom right leg is going to come underneath, and we're going to ground that left sitting bone. And we want the knees to be as close to one another as possible. Now this is where the block can come in handy. If we sit on a block, it will help to free our hips. And when we free the hips and the hamstrings a little bit, it makes the pose bearable. So what happens is we don't want to feel like our hips are about to snap like a rubber band, because what will happen is the body will naturally not relax because it's trying to protect itself. So if we need to use a prop or a yoga accessory, if you will, use one. If it's possible, begin to walk yourself down, hinge forward. Slowly come up. Top leg, left leg extends. And this time the right leg comes on top. Use the block if you need to. Find your sitting bones. Tall spine. Staying here, the bottom left leg extended, or take it under. But we don't want to pull it towards our glute. So our legs are splayed out. I am way worse on this side. Whew. So for me, I'm going to take a block option on this side because it doesn't feel great. And then this allows the hips to say, okay, I could do this, right? Acceptance, coming as we are. And then we can hinge forward slightly. Slowly come up. If you're using a prop, allow that to go off to the side. Extend both of our legs long. And then let's begin to come down onto our backs. So to the front of the mat. As we come down, knees filter into the chest, one and then the other. I know with a home practice, I've said this before, it's really easy to skip out on the Savasana, but it's a really important part of our practice because it just gives our body a few moments to try to create new pathways. So let's find a Savasana of choice. So it could be with your arms out and legs out. My personal favorite is Supta Baddha Konasana with the bottoms of the feet together. If you do have blocks handy, you have a couple of options. If you have two, or pillows, you can even place them underneath the legs. So when we release the blocks, we often feel that's a deeper stretch, but if we use some accessories underneath our legs, it allows them to relax and let go. Another option is to bring the feet on top of a block. And let's settle in. Our shoulder blades connect to the mat. Our palms are flipped up. We're releasing all tension through our face, our jaw, our tongue. We feel the eyebrows slide down the sides of our face. Releasing all of the tension. We allow the inhales to fill the body. As the exhales, we grow heavy into the mat. Slowly beginning to wiggle our fingers and our toes. If we're using any props, to put them to the side. Let one knee and then the other come into the chest. Roll over onto whichever side is most comfortable, cradling our head and our arms. Slowly press our way into a comfortable seated position. Our spine long over our hips. Feel the sitting bones grounded into the mat again. Shoulders roll up, down, and back. Inhale the arms up overhead. I hope you had a lot of fun during our funky flow today. From my home to yours. Namaste.